Hi there. My name is Juji. Welcome to my channel. This is a space for everyone and anyone who's interested in exploring self-development and relationships through the human design system. I love looking at relationships through the human design lens. And so, of course, when Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian got together, these seemingly very unmatched people, I had to look at their charts to see what was going on because it came out of left field. And not only that, but he's just so like rock and roll. And she's so like, she has her like poosh empire of this like healthy lifestyle. And she's all about like cleanses and meditation and eating healthy and all of this stuff. And I mean, I didn't know much about Travis, except that when I was in college, I did watch his reality show about him and his wife, Shayna, or now ex-wife, Shayna. So these two cannot get enough of each other. Their PDA is so over the top, and it actually really grosses most people out, especially their family. I mean, they both have kids. His are a little bit older, so they're not quite as skeeved out, but for the most part, it's inappropriate how all over each other they are. So let's take a look at their charts and see what we can glean from them. All right, so this is Travis Barker's chart. He is a projector. He's a 4/6 profile with splenic authority, split definition, and he is on the right angle cross of explanation. And, one of the things that we talk a lot about is the fact that projectors are always looking for the energy, right? They're always looking for an energy type. And so they're very often attracted to sacral beings. And that's exactly what happened with Kourtney, who is a generator. She's a 2/4, and she has sacral authority, also split definition on the right angle cross of laws. And the reason why I think her cross is interesting is because she is the one that has the most sort of controversy around not wanting to film the Kardashian reality series. And she opts out of a lot of the promotional stuff too for the show, which obviously has led to a lot of strife between her and especially Kim. But it's funny because it's her law. If she doesn't want to participate, like she's just not going to. If she wants to PDA all over the place, she's gonna if you're on the cross of laws, it's your laws. It's the way that you see it. That doesn't necessarily mean other people have to go along with it. That's something Kourtney is definitely learning, but it's funny to watch the controversy around that and how she seemingly just seems to give zero F's about what other people think. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that the connection between Kourtney and Travis, their love connection, seemed to come out of nowhere. And what stood out to me immediately when I saw their two charts is that they're both fourth lines. So Travis is a 4/6, so he's a conscious fourth line, and she's a 2/4, so an unconscious fourth line, but a fourth line nonetheless. And so what is characteristic of a fourth line is that they need to be friends first before they can be lovers. They have to like make you a part of their network, because fourth lines are networkers and they're all about being very friendly. So when the new season of the Kardashians came out and we sort of got the background about what happened and how they got together, both of them were saying like, yeah, we were friends for years. We knew each other for a long, long time. Our kids went to school together. We lived down the street. We just knew a lot of the same people. And even their first date, like Kourtney said she was unclear about whether or not it was actually a date even. It wasn't until they started making out that she realized like, oh yeah, we're on a date. So that's pretty funny in terms of, somebody who is, considered somewhat of a sex symbol. She's one of the spicy Kardashian chicks. She's seen wearing very skimpy outfits. So, the fact that she's unclear about whether or not she's on a date is pretty funny. And something to note is that fourth lines are very loyal. So people didn't understand why Kourtney was with Scott for the longest time. And, I haven't seen his chart, but really this is on Kourtney. It's very hard for fourth lines to let go of relationships. They really have to burn out for them to let it go. And it seems that over time, Scott did burn her out. So their relationship was no longer even on the horizon when she got together with Travis. But, there is longevity there. So the question that I posed on the cover of this video is whether or not they're going to fizzle out. And this is their connection chart together. They have 5 electromagnetics, which is a lot. I would say that it's pretty obvious why they're so hot and heavy. And maybe it's because there was a lot building over this friendship. There was a lot of probably tension that you could cut with a knife. But again, fourth lines have to really be clear that they're in the network before they can make that move. And so Travis was biding his time, and really he's here to wait for the invitation. So maybe that invitation just never came and he was sick of waiting. And that's why he made that move on this not date that he was on with Kourtney. I think they were watching a movie at one of their houses. I mean, it wasn't like they went out on this lavish whatever. They were doing what friends do. They hung out. And so that turned into more, and I can see why. So I just want to start by pointing out that they are 8 and 1, have some fun. Again, this is a great pairing in terms of the two of them both being split definition and forming a single definition in the chart. And the only center that they have open is the solar plexus. So they're here to be very mindful of not avoiding confrontation and truth between the two of them. I mean, Kourtney's known to be pretty confrontational, and she does have this very individual channel of the 360, which we saw in Elvis, which we saw in Prince Charles. I know J-Lo has this channel, Selena Gomez, Robin Williams, a lot of celebrities have this 360 channel because it is very individual and it's very mutative. And we love seeing people being themselves. It's really refreshing for us, even if sometimes they get punished for it. Like Elvis, for example, being his true authentic self was not always celebrated in the South. So Kourtney has this 360. She's all about speaking her mind. She doesn't really seem to have a problem with confrontation. Not sure how Travis handles confrontation either, but that would be what I would say that they need to really just be aware of in their relationship. Otherwise, their electromagnetics include the 515, the channel of rhythm. And this can be a little bit challenging as well in terms of them falling into a rhythm together, because they have these two gates that come together to meet, and it doesn't always mean that their rhythms align. And so that's something to really be aware of. Like if Travis is in the mood and she isn't, or vice versa, or if like her daily rhythms that she enjoys aren't really matching up with his, like, the lifestyle of a musician versus somebody who's been a full-time mom for a long time, that can end up being a little bit of a sticky situation. Doesn't seem to be a problem so far. They have the channel of initiation together, the 5125, which is an ego connection that they have. And this is something that I don't see a lot of in terms of coupling, because it really is about the love of the inanimate. So it's not about them necessarily loving each other so much, but it is a way for them to have this willpower together. So maybe that was what pushed Travis over the edge and helped him make the first move, helped him to initiate the very first kiss that led to their now marriage. They have the channel of struggle together, the 2838. This can be challenging as well, but again, it's all about awareness, so it can be managed. If you have the struggle channel together with somebody else, it's important to recognize that both of you are simply struggling to be yourselves. So allowing the other person to be themselves and being allowed to be yourself in the relationship is probably at the forefront of why they can be together. There's the channel of logic, the 63-4. And I would just say that this is, again, some kind of intellectual connection, which would lead them to have plenty to talk about all of the time. Then the brainwave is their next connection, the 57-20. So this is all about behaving and expressing yourself as yourself in any given situation. So I think that these two have a really good shot of having longevity together. I feel like Kourtney is kind of melding into Travis in a way. She has an open G center and his is defined. And she had this, again, she has the wellness brand. She's that representative in the family that's all about health and all of that stuff. And as soon as she started dating Travis, you started to see her like take on some of that rock and roll style. She's been wearing a lot of black leather. She's been, having like, doing her makeup more extreme, having like the extreme pulled back hair, just really sort of like falling in line with his aesthetic. And I mean, he's covered in tattoos. He's been in the music industry for many, many years. And she's kind of following suit. And there's actually this really hilarious influencer named Benny Drama who makes a lot of fun of her for it. And I think that it's so on point. I mean, it's noticeable that she's taken on this persona, even though we were pretty set on thinking that we knew who Kourtney was. And I guess Kourtney doesn't really know who she is. So it's easy to identify now as Travis Barker's wife. And that's how she is presenting herself to the world. So hopefully she enjoys that and it's not like a sore spot between them. But like I said, they're married now and their 5 electromagnetics will probably sustain them. I have high hopes for these two. I mean, even if they're like not dry humping each other at brunch with their family for the rest of their lives, they probably have plenty of spice to keep them going. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please put them below. You can also follow me on Instagram at HDbyZ and find me on my website. The link will be in the show notes. There you'll see that I offer individual human design readings, a relationship mentorship, and a community for conscious women called the Beehive, where we practice strategy and authority in our everyday lives. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Ciao for now.